Stop posting more. I mean it. The women I watch burning out right now aren't losing because they're too quiet. They're losing because they're copying the loud people's playbook in a market where buyers are tired of noise. And there's one calm shift that actually brings trust while everyone else gets ignored. And here's what I want to walk you through today. 5 mistakes I see introverts making when selling in a tough economy. And the last one, that's the one nobody's talking about. But it just might be the most important thing you hear all week. So let me paint the picture real quick. Economy tightens up, sales slow down, and the first thing you hear from every marketing guru online is post more, go live more, be more visible, hustle harder. And if you're an introvert, especially if you're building something on the side while you're working a job, that just doesn't just feel exhausting. It feels impossible. You're already stretched. And now someone's telling you the answer is just be louder? No, that's not it. The answer is quite the opposite. But before I get to the shift, let me walk you through what's really going wrong. Because once you see the 5 mistakes clearly, the fix will become obvious. Mistake number one, disappearing when things slow down. This is the most natural response to the world. Sales dry up, engagement drops, and you think, well, nobody's paying attention anyway. So I'll just take a step back and I'll regroup. But here's what actually happens when you do that. Every single day you go silent, you're bleeding the warm momentum that you've already built. The people who were watching you, who were familiar with your voice, who were almost ready to take the next step, they don't leave because they dislike you. They leave because there's so much noise out there, and that silence reads as invisible. You stop existing in their feed, and someone else fills the space. And here's the part that stings: rebuilding that momentum from a cold start costs far more energy than simply staying present with what you have. You don't need to post 5 times a day, but you cannot vanish. One honest post, one real update, one moment that says, I'm still here and I still know what I'm talking about, keeps you in the room when buyers are finally ready to act. Mistake number two, assuming that nobody is buying. I hear that one constantly. The economy's bad, people aren't spending, there's no point right now. And I get why it feels that way. I do. But data doesn't back that up. Research from the American Marketing Association shows that brands who maintain consistent marketing through economic downturns don't just survive, they come out stronger with stronger market share than the ones who went quiet. People are still spending. They're just more intentional about where their money goes. They're looking harder at who they trust before they commit, which means the introvert, you, me, who shows up with the right message, who speaks with honesty instead of hype, wins by default. Not because we're the loudest, because we're the most real. And in a market full of noise and desperation, being real, that's a competitive advantage. That's one that most people are sleeping on right now. Mistake number three, drowning people in information hard because we tend to over prepare. We want to prove we know what we're talking about. So we build out 10 free trainings, and then we stack up 7 PDFs. We design a 12-part email sequence and then wonder why nobody's taking the next step. Here's why. Confused buyer never pulls out their wallet. That's not opinion, that's behavioral economics. When someone faces too many decisions, too many options, too much information, when they face it at once, they don't pick the best one, they pick none. Decision fatigue is real. It is real. And you're triggering it every time you give someone 5 ways to start instead of one. One clear next step converts faster than 10 free trainings. Think about what that actually means for how you're showing up. Clarity isn't dumbing things down. It's respecting your audience enough to say, here's exactly what to do next, instead of making them sort through everything and figure it out themselves. I admit I have been guilty of this. The simpler the path, the more people walk in it. Mistake number 4, skipping the trust piece. In a tight economy, people buy from whoever feels the safest. That's it. That's the whole game right now. And introverts have a genuine structural advantage here. And there's actual research behind this. A study published by Psychological Science found that buyers are more influenced by perceived authenticity and listening behavior than high energy, high confidence presentations, the style that typically associate with good salespeople. Extroversion alone doesn't predict whether or not you can close a sale. Instead of a single honest story about where you actually are in the journey, the real version, not the polished one, outperforms a dozen hype posts. You don't need to perform a confidence you don't feel. You need to be the person in the room who's actually telling the truth. That's what trust looks like on camera, in a caption, in a DM. And trust is the currency that matters most when money is tight and people are careful. Mistake number 5, and this is the one I really want you to sit with: matching everyone else's frantic energy. When the economy gets tough, watch what happens. You've seen it. Everybody speeds up. More posts, more urgency, more last chance, act now, don't miss out. The desperation is almost like can't even almost palatable. The thing is, buyers feel it. They can sense when someone's posting from scarcity, and they can tell. They can tell when the energy behind the content, if it's panic dressed up as strategy. And instead of drawing people in, that frantic energy actually pushes people away. So here's a calm shift I promised you at the beginning. Stop matching that energy. Calm, grounded, steady leadership, that's what's magnetic right now. Not some philosophical concept, but a practical positioning choice. Buyers are exhausted. They've been yelled at, counted down, urgency manipulated, and flash sale to the point that they have built up a genuine resistance to all of it. What they're looking for, maybe without even knowing it, is someone who isn't panicking, someone who makes them feel like, okay, this person actually knows where they're going and isn't going to drag me into chaos to get there. And that person, that can be you. Not in spite of being an introvert, but because of it. We rise not with noise, but with clarity. And by the way, if you want a system that actually matches the calm, trust first approach, go to introvertincomesystem.com. It pays 80% commissions, and the self system does the selling for you. So you're not chasing anyone or performing online to make it work. I put the link in the description below.